Let's take a look now at stage anchors. Now what I'm talking about is when you find yourself in a lineup of speakers. Let's say, for example, that there are 5 speakers and they're all going to speak and you are number 3. It's important to work with stage anchors if you find that the stage anchor is going to work. And let me explain what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen a show, in particular a comedy show, where the comedian will be out there just really doing well and everything's going great and the audience is responding exceptionally well, and then the next person comes out and it's almost seamless, or the host comes back out and introduces the next person and it's almost seamless the way they kind of flow into each other. You've probably experienced that. You've probably also seen the opposite, where the person will be doing really well and then the host comes out and the energy drops. Or the next person comes up and they just flop because they just don't capture what the last person had, so the energy goes down. Or you've probably seen where somebody came out and flopped and then the next person came out and they were great and the energy went back up. So it's kind of anyone's guess as to whether or not the person in front of you is going to allow for a stage anchor to be present. If the person who is on right before you is doing very well and has got the audience anchored to him or her and everything's going really well, it would be to your benefit to use that as an anchor. So if they're out there on stage doing things and the audience is responding well and everyone's feeling the energy and the person is delivering the message in such a way that is being received, and you can just tell everything's clicking. If you find yourself in that situation, and if you are the next person to go out on the stage, pay particular attention to where that person is standing. So the square on this diagram represents the stage. And sometimes it's not a defined stage. Sometimes it's not a stage that's a platform. Sometimes it's just an area where the speaker is able to roam, and it's considered to be a stage. The circle in the middle is the speaker before you, and the X marks where that speaker is standing. So the circle is going to move. That speaker is going to leave that X. They're going to get off stage, and you are going to get on stage. You want to make sure that you hit that mark. You want to make sure that you are standing on that X. Now, there's no X actually there. It's just the last place the person stood when the audience was anchored to him or her and everything was going great. So in order to steal the thunder, as it were, in order to capture that energy, you want to make a mental note of exactly where they're standing and what they're doing. And you want to stand where they were standing and do what they were doing. Now you can segue this into your own thing, into doing what you do. But initially, let's say they're ending talking like this, and they're talking rather loudly, and they're standing right there. Well, it would be to your benefit to go out there and to say, hey, wasn't that great? Wasn't that wonderful? And now I'd like to talk to you about whatever it is you were going to talk about. That's how you steal the thunder using NLP anchors. By the same token, if that person is not doing well, I suggest that you avoid the X. X does not mark the spot with someone who's not doing well before you. So if someone is standing up there and just bombing, the audience is not engaged, they're bored or they're restless, or the person is offending people, or whatever the reason may be for negativity, avoid that X and avoid doing what that person was doing so you can stand somewhere else and do something else. So this is how you make use of stage anchors.